February 16th, 1:14 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Mr. Fools, Oh, God. Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Yeah, but there's one big obstacle we've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill the policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do none! I didn't kill nobody! I never lie! Mr. Fools, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it. Every day. This picture, it reminds me everything. Bridge looks same. Just like then. 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart. Fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Ha! Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart any minute. It true. I did. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Your girlfriend? Huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne? The victim's last name. Dahlia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? The girl. Let her go. Shut up! Come closer and I kill her! Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong! No protect sister! Valerie, betray me! Betray us! What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything, all lies, all make-believe, kidnapping too. A make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Ugh, did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him to make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer cause she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman... That woman, Valerie, she do it for real. She shoot at me for real, me and Dahlia. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jumped in river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. This is all so messed up. That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. These 5 years, all I wonder is why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's why you caught her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear scarf. I don't want to hurt her, just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear answer come from her mouth. That's all. So that's why. That's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia. With Dahlia? That day on bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River. It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back in now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. They never found her. Swallowed by river, gone. Dahlia, my teen angel. Your teen angel. How old was she anyway? Just 14. 14? I guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man oh man, angels these days. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a... It's time, kitten. It looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now. You bet. A $2 million gem used as ransom for Dahlia, lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. The training reels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike when the iron is hot. That's one of my rules. Remember it. Alright. Here we go. Now again, for anyone that missed the first case in this game, you should go back and watch it on YouTube. But the first case in this game is Mia's second trial. This is Mia's first trial. This is Mia's first trial. Now Dahlia was also was the villain. Dahlia was the villain the first case, and we know that Melissa Foster, because of that case, is actually Dahlia Hawthorne. And Dahlia was found guilty for that case. But clearly, whatever happened, she got away with this. I guess we now have to find out how. And now though, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. A witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figure that's what I had to establish next. Oh, well, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence for a motive? Yes, of course. I think. Ha! You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Kitten. Mr. Armando. Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles, no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me. May I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course. Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. Yeah, that's Mia's line. The lawyer should do his biggest smiles when things are at their worst. That's Mia's line. I guess she got that from Mr. Armando. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. Oh, I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like the witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her. Click. She lights right up. Very well. Let's hear what the witness has to say. All right. I was out of the country until a year before last. The year before last. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to the bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow, I have to tie her to this case. Right, I think we're gonna have to stop pressing, because there was nothing that stuck out to me as an obvious contradiction there. I was out of the country until the year before last. So what country were you living in then? We were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed... It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alive. Alone? Alive? I didn't even see which word that was. I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification. What kind of sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press her for details? Yes. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Objection! Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness had any connection to this case. I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne. Yes, I think we've established that point. Oh yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony? Yes, please, Mr. Judge. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. I don't think we can prove that she's Dahlia yet, can we? Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Thing is, we know she's Dahlia because of the first case, but that hasn't happened yet in this game. I don't think we can pin... You didn't know either person? Are you certain of that? Yes, I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people. Oh well, that can't be helped. Why is he just agreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth? The first time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct? Yes, it really was a coincidence. Until I entered college, I had never been to Eagle Mountain before. So what made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyway? I just love being outdoors, picnics and hiking, you know, that sort of thing. You don't look like much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. A digger. But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here, and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to. Well, I went there once with a college hiking club. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold, yet romantic gloominess. I didn't know you were such a goth. By the way, what's the name of your college? Objection! The prosecution objects to any questions that involve the witness's private life. All that matters is that she is a material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly of malicious intent. Thank you. She's really gone too far. Miss Faye, you're treading on thin ice here. I hardly said anything. Talk about sensitive. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car. Well, that's... Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? And why is that? The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that at that time, an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake. Ha! That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. That's not fair! That wicked inmate, I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. Holding a grudge, killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago? A grudge? Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such a deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent of these charges. He seems rather forgetful, your client. I mean... Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Your client. He forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was with without some sort of identification, right? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf, as identification. Why, if I had been wearing the white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Fool's reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Your Honor, what the witness said just now was tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough! Witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. Lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. Guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. I'm gonna have to just press this. What do you mean by lucky? Well, it's February now. Everyone is wearing scarves. If I had accidentally worn a white scarf like you said... Then you yourself might have been killed. That would have been a terrible loss for this world. Ha! It looks like you pressed too hard this time, kitten. Mr. Armando, keep looking around you and you're going to lose sight of the finish line. Justice is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when not to talk. Oh. Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. You knew about that incident? But weren't you out of the country until the year before last? Well, I saw a report about the escaped convict on the news. They had an in-depth report about his whole history. You were still living abroad 5 years ago, is that right? Yes. I can't let her get away with these lies. Listen to me. She's neck deep in this whole thing. Somehow, you're just going to have to get her to show the court her true self. I was out of the country. Oh, we're back at the beginning again. So it's this one. Or this one. guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. Are we gonna point out that it's blue?
Objection!
Oh, that's right. Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Oh, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing. I've got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh. Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. I'm not surprised that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white. Because she'd seen this. She'd seen this. She's somehow seen this. Witness, have you ever seen this note? Notes? No, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf. Ah! Witness, you knew what this note said. And it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster. No! Order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right. A person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... Valerie's younger sis, victim of the kidnap murder, fell from the bridge, nobody found. Wait, are we supposed to do Melissa Foster? Or Dahlia Hawthorne? I'm gonna go with Dahlia Hawthorne. And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time. There is her name, right there. Well, what's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne. Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off of Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old, 5 years ago. If she was still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't... Miss Faye, you're not saying. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us, the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Ha! Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm. Oh, witness, just who are you anyway? I didn't think it would come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself! Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses. What did he say? Ha! It looks like the kid knew. He knew her identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. All right. Here we go. But, I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see. Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious. Her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me. Ha! I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. Ah, that wasn't me. It was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. Objection! I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Ha! What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. Ah, I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me? The rashness of youth, how charming. It's coming from someone younger than me. And now then, let's not waste any more time. Miss Faye, what motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? It's the diamond. What is this? Is this the defense's idea of a joke? If so, I certainly don't get the punchline. Oh, well, Miss Faye. Oh, that was the rashness of youth. Oh, was I wrong? Oh, the rashness of youth. And what is the... Okay. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and do a very quick savey save in case this goes wrong again. The witness stayed hidden for 5 years, kitten. There must be a good reason for that. And somehow it must involve Valerie Hawthorne. Okay, one more time here. You've got to read the court record more carefully this time. So it wasn't the diamond. So it's going to have her murdering her own sister. Probably this, right? The whole truth must come out. This is like the only alternative. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. He said, it says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. A terrific story, Miss Faye, if you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was this secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yeah, I know the secret. Now it's the diamond. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well. I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. Okay. Quite a compelling testimony, but we'll see about that. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Faye? Yes, Your Honor? As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. Ha! If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info. That ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right. It was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. 5 years ago. "5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls." Did you and Mr. Falls have a relationship? Yes, as a tutor. You were tutoring him? Mr. Falls? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house to tutor me. Huh? It doesn't seem... Okay. That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. He probably came up with a kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see. He doesn't seem very smart, though, does he? Quite the clever fellow, that Mr. Falls. Did I hear him right? You just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow? The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. $2 million? It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk. $2 million pint of milk? Oh, I don't know what to think about that. The defendant demanded that her sister, Valerie, make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. By the way, I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on the mountain? If he ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety. What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Falls is. Yeah, right. It was all your plan. Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and... After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That was a dangerous thing to do, considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but... Actually, that saved my life. Oh, what do you mean? You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow, I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. That's why Mr. Falls tried to kill me, by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. A bloodthirsty grin, oh. And in the next instant... I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Then just one little shove from behind. That was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. And that's why you hid your identity? Yes, I only told my sister. Valerie Hawthorne, eh? Yes, she's the only one who knew about me. Meanwhile, legally, this witness had been deceased for 5 years. I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. Why did she come back here then? And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right? Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of. That makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all of the paperwork would have been impossible. She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could. It's the moment of truth for this witness too. Once the truth about this staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is. Is that the word Jezebel? Don't know that one. I've just got to prove that kidnapping was a hoax. Okay. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a... What does the evidence actually say? $2 gem used as a ransom value. Lost to Eagle 5 years ago. We've pressed everything. So what's the proof that it was... After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. I've got a bad feeling about this, so I'm actually gonna save. I'm worried I'm gonna get this wrong. I feel like we have to show the diamond. Just where? I'm surprised it was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. That's Vitalia. So the whole truth must come out. After she made the exchange, Mr. Phil. That's when Mr. Phil's tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. Okay, if he did that, he'd be losing the money, the diamond, right? I'm gonna try it. That's wrong! No! Okay, we saved. Sorry, guys. Alright. Let's load the save we just made. Scuffed run. Nuzlocke over, we need to start with the first game? Yeah, okay. Darling, tell her this time the hot chocolate's come out. Maybe it's just that. The whole truth thing. Struggling a little bit with this one. So we have to prove that it was... We have to prove that it was staged, but we don't have any evidence showing that it was staged. What about profiles? Hang on. I'm gonna press everything a second time. Just because sometimes that helps. About being pushed off the bridge with a diamond? Well, we did that earlier. After she made the exchange. We did it here, right? We presented the diamond to this, it didn't work. We could try presenting the diamond to this. Oh, good. Can I just load from here? Yeah, alright, cool. After she made the exchange. Wait. Shoving me off the bridge from behind? Wait a second. Wait a second! Wouldn't she have landed there? I was on the wrong wavelength entirely. It's the map. Oh my gosh. All right, we got there. You said that Mr. Fools pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Fools. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you've claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Ah! Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right. If the event occurred just as the witness has testified, the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, if Mr. Edgeworth's explanation is correct... Now that you mention it, I do remember now, when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got caught in one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. Order in the court! It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous! What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court records. Pushed off the side of the bridge. Pushed off the side of the bridge. Oh, there's no way. It's all wires. There's all wires. Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge? That is clearly impossible. Order! What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. What? What is this? Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current, but even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into a river? The witness was still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of Eagle River. That's gotta be the diamond. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up to the mountain with her. The $2 million diamond. No, it can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million. She was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Fools to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Wow, that's simply ridiculous. Order! Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? Objection! But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. Oh, what do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving a phone call from Mr. Fools, Valerie called her sister, Dahlia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She is so evil. She is actually so evil. Who is that laughing at a time like this? Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness? Is that you? You amuse me, woman! Ms. Mia Fey! You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally! You have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14, I plotted it with Mr. Fowles and my sister. Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fay, I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fay. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl has made a fool of me, and there's nothing I can do about it. Ha! Without evidence, the trial is over? Who decided that? Mr. Armando. Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony? On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Fowles' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There is only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify to that demon woman's crimes? One person left to testify. Well, there's only one person left, really, isn't it? It's Terry Fools. It's my client. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Fools. Oh, the defendant. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all. And that person is Terry Falls. Oh well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. A bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? Yeah, I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive. And you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other. Terry? Dahlia! It's true. You're alive. You don't trust me anymore. That makes me sad. Tell the truth. The real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there is one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Dahlia. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness! Gah! I'm sorry, I apologize. Water! Please! Water! Huh? Can't talk! Need water! Ha! Oh well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. Who Terry Falls saw. That day, at 4 PM, I stopped the car. I was in front of Bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on Bridge. I watched my car from Bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? Objection! That's enough, Miss Faye. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Faye, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence. There's only one person who can stop it. You, Kitten. I think. Alright, we're gonna save once more. Who Terry Falls saw. Though I am confused about one thing, guys. Okay, so he's saying he got to the bridge first. I watched my car from the bridge. Never put no body in that car. One woman came, she stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not Dahlia. We talked, then she left. It doesn't make sense. Because according to the photos and everything, the victim was standing here, right? And Terry Falls was standing here. So how could she have walked on and then off again? She'd had to walk past him and then walk back past him again. Doesn't make any sense. Does it? Am I insane here? I'm gonna try and present the map here. Objection! It was wrong! It was wrong. Okay, I'll try the photo then. And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna stop pressing. Is this where we learn people can teleport? Alright. Try again. There we go. It's the photo works. I was in the right trail of thought. I just presented the wrong thing. That's fine. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Fools. I'm sure that you're lying. Huh? What? Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? But the victim at the end. But that's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Fools, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Fools? Please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. What's he doing? I got there around 4 o'clock. It's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple around 15 minutes from bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under base of tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. This little... That seems familiar. That bottle seems familiar. From the first... Isn't that poison? This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. Ugh. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No! Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. I've still got a chance. Mr. Fools, there's no mistaking it. Ooh! Huh? Mr. Fools? What the heck? He just spat blood. Oh, that's enough. Please. Witness? I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. Ugh. No, stop the trial. Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we're so close. Just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Fools! Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Fools! And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul, I thought it would never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne. She left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable. That witch. Mr. Armando. We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect, angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all of this. Episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings, the end. Well, that is it. That is the 4th chapter over and done with. We have one final case left in this trilogy. The final case. Bridge to the Turnabout, or Bridge to Turnabout. And we'll start that tomorrow, YouTube. Goodbye.